Good morning. Here's our next hand. We have King 5 offsuit on the button. We have the cutoff open raises to 3, small blind calls, and they take a flop. Cutoff's playing 25-14. We have 25 hands on him, not a whole lot. It's really, he's just played button, small blind. That's it. So, just going off of some numbers, it looks like he's playing fairly tightly. He comes in for a raise. And if we're going to be tight, we're looking at like 15% maybe. We could really tighten it up if we assume that he's going to limp too, but maybe he just didn't have any hands. Just, last night I just really wasn't getting any hands to play. It was just a slow night. And that could be happening to him with his 25 hands that we currently have. So I'm just going to say this is the range that he open raises with. Small blind, however, I have over 100 hands. He's played almost 50% of them, and it's almost like 50% across the board. Now it's not exactly 50%. We've got 43 here, you got 64 here, but I think most of the time he's going to look to play his hands. So over 50% of the hands I think he's going to be playing for or playing with them. He is willing to raise first in with them. Definitely a big difference. So he's going to be limping a lot with the weak hands and then raising with his better hands. 3-bets, he's 3-bet 3 out of 45 times. The notes that we have is a 3-bet with aces. I don't think he would have had aces 3 times. So I think when we build this range, we're going to assume that he would raise queens plus ace king. I think that could give him about 3 hands out of 100. And, maybe he's just running good. The rest of his range, I just went ahead and worked out. It's over 50%. I think suited aces, suited kings, all the offsuit aces, connectors, one gappers. I think those are all going to be hands that he plays. The Broadway hands, I think he's going to be playing, and so forth. It's a big range. It's a big range. All right, so see the flop of queen 10-7. Two diamonds. I do assume this player is going to be checking a lot. So he does check, and then villain bets. He bets more than half pot. His c-bet stat, out of position 1 out of 1. This is in position 0 out of 1, so now this will be 1 out of 2. What hands is he going to be c-betting? We're going to say top pair. We're going to say maybe he'll do it with jacks in the middle pair. Flush draw, open ender. Let's see what the gut shots look like. Yeah, we will give him the gut shots on that. I think middle pair is probably just going to check, and same thing, pocket pair less than the top card is probably just going to check. So any of the 10s and the jacks, I think, are just going to check. I think he had possibility just to check behind with those. He chose not to. Chose to bet, so I think I'm going to just exclude those on a board like this. I'm not sure if you would necessarily bet jacks and queens, or even like 9s and 8s. I think those could be checking hands to see how the board improves, because with his range, he is going to connect. However, he does have a lot of hands that he's going to have to get rid of. I just think mostly he's going to be connecting. So we'll see that. So we'll say he's going to c-bet 65% of the time. This guy calls. He's going to call with his pairs. Flush draws, his gut shots. He's got a lot more gut shots. All right, so that's almost 50%, 48%. So maybe if that's the range that he's calling, maybe then villain should be betting some of these weaker hands. I'm not even sure. I have a feeling that he doesn't, that he might be... Yeah, we're about half and half, so I think he needs more bluff. So maybe what he could do is do some of the 2-card backdoor flushes, maybe with the aces, like the ace 2, ace 3, ace 4, ace 5. That's going to add some add some. Um, yeah, maybe like 8s and 9s you can add as a bluff. That'll increase the c betting percentage, but it's probably okay because villain's going to be folding 50%. He's got a lot of hands, so maybe we just go ahead and bet. Fold the c bet stat. Again, you don't have a huge range, but when he's in position, he folds 2 out of 6. When he's out of position, he folds 3 out of 3. So it does look like he is going to be folding a lot of his junk. So I kind of think when we look at these, this is probably wishful thinking that he's calling with these, but we never know. You never know. We'll keep him in. All right, so equity wise, you can see that in position player is just like way ahead at this point, and I think he was way ahead equity wise, just on the flop range versus range. So that's going to argue that he should be c betting quite a bit. And probably be c betting on the larger size. So maybe raise that up to 4.5 or 5 instead of just 4, or even doing a smaller size. Although I think smaller size is less risk to get that fold equity. All right, so he bets. We'll assume, whoops, nope, he comes over the top. All right, so we already had the hands that he was going to call, and then he comes over the top. And this is crazy. But villain only has 10 left. So we're going to ignore the size and just say he check raised, shoved. What is he going to do that with? I think we're going to do that with sets and 2 pairs. Don't necessarily think he's going to do it with top pair. Probably not these weaker top pairs. Probably not maybe ace queen. Maybe ace queen. I think some people do that. I don't think he's doing it with middle pair. And then I think for the flush draw, turn this off so we can see it. Let's have ace jack. Definitely leave the aces. I don't think the kings normally do that. King jack could, because that's an open ender. Jack nine's an open ender. Jack nine's a gut shot. Jack seven's bottom pair. 8-9, I think. Yeah, I don't think there's reasons why he would be check raising with all of those, or with all the rest. I mean, that looks like a decent check raising range. Same thing with the straight. I mean, the straight, when there's a flush draw out there, I just don't think he's going to be raising. So I think that's going to be like his check raising range. Sets 2 pair, and then maybe ace queen, and then these flush draws. And let's go ahead and color code it so we can kind of see what we're looking at. So 3-1, about less than 3-1. I think if we were in this guy's spot here, we have to think if we have any 1 pair hand, we're probably not good. I mean, we could be ahead because they're drawing. 29% of those hands they're going to be drawing, but those are good draws. They're flush and straight draws. So villain calls. So I think in this spot with the short stacks, I think villain's probably calling with his queens. Anything queens plus, he's probably calling with flush draw, probably with the open ender. I don't think he has the gut shots anymore. So I think that's going to be our ranges. So turn and river come 2 and 3. Villain show 7s. That's interesting. Trip 7s. So that was in the set. That was totally in there. Um, this villain shows Jack 9, so he had the open ender. I assumed he would have been being more selective, only doing it when he has the flush. But he also has, the Jack 9s and whatever. So now that makes it much more drawy in nature. So if you're up against a draw, you're just thinking, okay, well, let's go back to that spot. He needs to call 10 more, say 11 more. Pot is 7 plus 4. We'll say 7 plus 15, 22. So 10 to call to win 22. Now to win 26. 22 plus 20 plus 4 is 6. 26. 10 to win 26. So you're getting about over 2.5 to 1 on your money. Yeah, you figure to be ahead of this guy and take the draw. So I think that's okay. We are going to take some notes on here. So he called, cut off 3 big blind RFI in small blind with Jack 9 spades. He is out of position. Check. Raised. So he check raised all in, say 15 big blinds. All right. Queen of diamonds, 10 of diamonds, 7 of hearts. XX. Yeah. Check raised, all in. Check raised. I don't know, maybe pot. I guess we should say villain all in. And we'll do this one. He had 7s. I think this is a little less informative because he had trips. RFI 3 big blind in cutoff with 7s. Let's see here, 7 diamonds, 7 spades. He is in position. IP, he bet. We'll call it 66 at 60% and call all in 10, 11 B, 11 BB, X, X. Okay, the queen of diamonds, 10 of diamonds, 7 of hearts, X, X. All right, so honestly can't really criticize either of their plays too much. I think if we're right on his range, he's probably playing way too many hands. I think that is a criticism. I think this guy probably needs to open up his raise first in range a little bit. But post flop, we know that he's going to be folding quite a bit, or we think he's going to be folding quite a bit. He bet, he gets check raised. I think the check raise is probably okay. With the diamonds out there, I think it's a little. Probably prefers a call a little bit more than a check raise, but I think there's better hands to check raise it. I think here you can check raise your 2 pair trips, and then I think you target your good combos, your flush and straight draws. I don't think I would check raise a 1 pair hand. Likewise, I don't think he should be calling all in with a 1 pair hand. However, players that usually start out short stack tend to do that. They tend to call with the 1 pair hands. So here it just he missed his draw and trip 7s took it. So hopefully you enjoyed the hands. Hopefully, you kind of work through them just as practice. And if you have Poker Tracker in these hands, just go ahead and do it yourself. You only improve your game by working through these hand reading exercises. And the more you do, the better you get in real time, and you just develop a feel for various hands. If you like this, look tomorrow for another.